I've done like the unveiling moment, and now I have to do it again. Hello everyone, welcome to Big Friendly Grub. I hope you are safe and well. Now they say that when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Well, 2020 has given us so many bloody lemons, we're going to need to do a darn sight more than just make lemonade. That's right, 2020 has been a proper lemon party so far, so we're going to need to do something with these bad boys to try and make it that little bit sweeter. Now, I'm not much one for making lemonade at home, but what I do love making at home is a lemon drizzle cake. Lemon drizzle cake is amazing. It's one of the best cakes out there. There's not anyone out there that I know that doesn't like lemon drizzle cake. It's so good. But because we've been handed so many lemons this year, I don't want to just show you how to make lemon drizzle cake once, not twice, but 3 times. I'm going to show you 3 different ways that we can make a lemon drizzle cake. So the first way we're going to make lemon drizzle cake today is by doing a mug cake. Yep, a mug cake, a mug lemon drizzle cake. You don't have to be a mug to make this, but you do have to be a lemon or something else like that. So yeah, I'm going to show you a super quick 5-minute way of making a lemon drizzle cake in a mug. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to get you your lemon drizzle cake fix super quick. So the first way we're going to do our lemon drizzle cake is in a mug. This is going to take about 5 minutes, so we want to make it as quick as possible. So I'm not going to be using any actual lemons on this one because I don't want to do any zesting, any juicing, none of that malarkey. So I'm going to mostly be using lemon curd for this. This is going to add some lovely lemon flavour without any of the hassle. So I'm going to actually pop a nice spoonful of this into the bottom of our mug because I want a nice layer down there as a nice surprise down at the bottom. Then in a separate bowl, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of oil. This is sunflower oil. 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of milk. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm adding in 1 egg. Then I'm going to beat these together really well with a fork. And I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of lemon curd into that and mix that into there as well. We want 2 tablespoons of caster sugar and 4 tablespoons of self-raising flour. And beat that all together as well. You could do this all in the mug, but I prefer to do it this way to just make sure I've got everything together. Then I'm going to pour this into our mug on top of our lemon curd. Then we will pop this into the microwave for about 2 minutes on about 30-second blast just to keep an eye on it. So 1, 2, off it goes. You can see we are getting a bit of overflow here, but don't worry, we can clean this up afterwards. That is the thing with mug cakes, they do tend to make a mess sometimes, but we can clean this up afterwards. It's still going to be good. And there we go, that's the mug cake. We just need to get some drizzle over that. It's going to be more like a spongy dessert, but it's still going to be good. I'm just going to get all of this excess cleaned up and out of the microwave as well. It happens, that's the thing with mug cakes, but it's still going to taste great. After one quick clean of the mug, we now have a nice looking mug cake in there, but we've got no drizz to go with our lemon, so we need to do a quick drizzle for this. So I've got a couple of tablespoons of granulated sugar there, and I'm just using lemon juice from a bottle just to thin this out so we can create a drizzle. Probably don't need too much, probably a couple of squirts of this, just to create enough drizzle to go over the top of our mug lemon drizzle cake. That looks like a pretty good consistency, and I'm just going to pour this all over the top there so it will soak nicely into that lovely spongy mug cake. And that's it. You just need to leave that to cool down for a couple of minutes if you want to. You can dive straight in. Why not? It's up to you. But I'm just going to leave it to cool down for a bit because I've got other cakes to get on with. The second way we're going to be making a lemon drizzle cake today is a vegan lemon drizzle cake, because why should vegans have to miss out on the wonder that is a lemon drizzle cake? We're not going to be using any eggs today, we're not going to be using any butter, we're going to be subbing those out, but we're still going to get a fantastic lemon drizzle cake. It's going to be so good and it's going to be great for the planet as well because no animal products. Right, the first thing I'm going to do for our vegan lemon drizzle cake is prepare my lemons, because I find this step really grating. Hey! Sorry, not sorry. So I'm going to just zest and juice 3 lemons. I've got 2 smaller lemons and 1 larger lemon because I couldn't find any medium-sized lemons for some reason. Right, we've got our zest, now we need to get the juice, and I'm going to use my awesome lemon juice here that I tested on my second gadget testing video. Oh, just look at that, that is so easy. Look at that, flat as a pancake. There we go, that's all our lemon zest and juice prepared, so I'm going to put that to one side and we can get on with our actual cake batter. Right, for our vegan lemon drizz, we're obviously not using any butter, so what we want instead is 100 millilitres of vegetable oil or sunflower oil, works very well as well. And we're also going to add in 150 millilitres of oat milk, or you could use soy milk if you prefer. I would use either one of those two because they've got the slightly milder flavour. If you use something like almond milk, I think that flavour will probably be too strong. Then I'm going to add in our lemon juice and zest. Give that a quick blend. Then I'm going to add in 200 grams of caster sugar and beat that in well. Then I'm adding in 275 grams of self-raising flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of bicarb. Then I'm going to beat that all in together so it's mixed well. Right, that's mixed together, but it's looking a little bit too thin to me, and that could be the amount of lemon juice I've managed to get out my lemons this time. I did get quite a lot. So to thicken this up, I'm going to add in another 75 grams worth of self-raising flour, because remember, we've got no eggs in here. We want to have a nice bit of structure to it. I'm just going to get around these edges with a spatula, but that's looking a lot thicker, and that's kind of what we want because, like I said, no eggs, no structure. And I'm going to transfer my batter into an 8-inch cake tin with a loose bottom, and then I'm going to pop this into an oven at 180 degrees C, probably for a good 40 to 45 minutes because it needs a good long bake. Okay, it's been about 50 minutes, I would say. I gave it a bit longer than 40 to 45 just because it needed a little bit longer to cook in the centre, but that has come out really nicely. It's risen up really, really well, which is great. You'll probably notice it looks a bit paler than a normal lemon drizzle cake. The reason being, I mean, there's no butter in there, there's no egg, so it's going to have a bit of a lighter colour, but it still smells fantastic. So I'm just going to double check that this is cooked through. I'll poke through a skewer, do it the right way up. In this goes. And yeah, that comes out lovely and clean. So like any other lemon drizzle, we want to get the drizzle on there while it's still nice and hot. So I've got some caster sugar here, not caster sugar, granulated sugar, the other one. It's slightly coarser and that's what you want for the top of your lemon drizzle. And then into here, I'm going to squeeze the juice of one lemon. Then I'm going to mix this together well. Then while it's still in the tin, I'm just going to drizzle this over the top of our lemon drizzle cake. And because it's still warm, it's going to absorb into that cake, become lovely and flavoursome and moist. I know if you hate that word, I'm sorry, but it applies. So then I just transfer that onto a wire rack, leave that to cool down in the tin, and then we will have a lovely vegan lemon drizzle cake. So that is our second one done. It will come out the tin once it's cooled down. And the last way we're going to be making a lemon drizzle cake today is going to be the classic way of making a lemon drizzle cake, but we're actually going to kick it up a notch. We're not just going to use the juice and the zest of a lemon, we're going to be using the whole gosh darn lemon. That's right, I'm going to be boiling up those lemons, softening them down, and we're going to blitz them up and we're going to put them through our lemon drizzle cake, and it's going to make a amazingly moist, beautifully lemony lemon drizzle cake. It's going to be so good, and I just love making it this way. It is so good. Now, I said for our classic lemon drizzle cake I was going to be using boiled lemons, and that's what I've got here. I have boiled these for about an hour just in a pan of water over a medium heat, making sure it doesn't boil away too much that it ends up like, you know, evaporating and you end up with scalded lemons. So these have become really soft. You can see how soft these are. They are really, really lovely, and they become kind of like jammy in the middle, and you get such a lovely flavour from them. So I'm just going to cut into these. They're so easy to cut through, just like that. You can see how super jammy they've come in the middle. And what you want to do is just get the pips out of there, because we don't really want to blitz those up. If you've got a super powerful food processor, then you might be able to, but probably most food processors won't be able to handle them. And also you probably just want to chop these tips off as well, because you've got those nasty knobbly bits at the end, and you don't really want the gritty bits from those. Then with the seeds out, I'm just going to pop these into my little chopper here, then on with your lid and blitz those up until they become really nicely blended up. And you'll be able to see that has become a lovely lemony puree, really smooth, and it smells amazing. So that is going to be brilliant for our lemon drizzle cake. If you are worried about any excess seeds or anything like that in there, then you can always try and run it through a sieve when you're putting it into the cake. Might take a little bit of effort to push it all through, but that is not. So take the blade out of this and then just leave this to one side for later. Now we can get started with our actual cake batter. So we're going to want 200 grams of caster sugar and the same amount of butter, softened, I've probably left that butter out for a little too long. You want it a bit softer than that. You want it just squeezably soft, hopefully not melty. But we're still going to roll with it. I'm still sure it's going to be fine. So we're going to blitz together our butter and sugar until it becomes nice and smooth and creamy. So our butter and sugar are a lot lighter in colour and they're looking lovely and smooth and creamy. So I'm going to add in now 3 eggs, one at a time, and beat those in. So that's looking really lovely and smooth and fluffy and creamy. I don't think it's mattered too much that the butter was a little bit too soft. It's very warm today and that's why it was a bit too warm. So keep an eye on it. So now we're going to want 200 grams of self-raising flour as well. Let's chuck that in. And I'm going to add in half a teaspoon of bicarb and a half teaspoon of baking powder as well for a little bit of extra lift. And then beat that in as well. Then with all that combined, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of milk and beat that in as well, just to make it that bit smoother. Then last but definitely not least, we want that lemon in there. So we want to get all of that out. It smells amazing. You might think it might be too lemony, but it's really not. It really just evens out once it gets mixed into that cake batter. Then on the lowest speed, I'm just going to mix this together with our cake batter. Now, because this is our classic lemon drizzle cake, and classically they usually get baked in loaf tins, I've got a 2-pound loaf tin here, which I am going to try and get my cake batter into. I wonder if this will be too much for this actual tin. I'm going to see how it goes. I don't have to use it all if I think it's going to be too much. I've greased and lined this loaf tin as well because we want to be able to get it out as well. There we go, that's about 2/3 of the way up the tin, that's about right. I'm just going to even this out a bit. And then we want this to go into the oven at 180 degrees C for about 30 to 40 minutes, I would say. Right, I'll check that along the way, but that's going to be in there for about 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, it has been about 45 minutes in the end because I gave it an extra 5 minutes because I wanted to be absolutely sure it was cooked through. And that is, it's got a lovely brown top. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Really nice colour in it. It smells amazing. It hasn't come up too far, which is good because I was worried about it coming up and over. Smells really good. So I'm going to give this about 5 minutes or so to cool down in the tin because then I want to try and get this out of the tin because I don't want to pour in the drizzle and have it potentially then get stuck in the tin. So it's been about 5 minutes and the cake has cooled a little bit, and the good news is it came out of the tin. I was a little worried, that's why I did it off camera because I didn't want a disaster at this stage, but it looks good. It's come out of the cake tin fine. So now I'm going to pop over some drizzle like before, so 100 grams of granulated sugar and the juice of a lemon, and I'm just going to use a spoon to kind of drizz this all over. You could potentially do this in the tin, but to be honest, I was a bit worried about it getting stuck today. I did try this video once before and I had a bit of a disaster, to be honest. The reason being, my scales broke, everything went wrong, and yeah, it was just a disaster and I ended up wasting a load of ingredients, which I absolutely hate. There we go, we've got a load of lovely drizz over our cake. Now all that's left to do with that is leave it to cool and just let that drizzle set and become a lovely crust on top of that. Whew. So there we go, 3 ways of doing lemon drizzle cake. We've got a 5-minute lemon drizzle mug cake, we've got a vegan lemon drizzle, and we've got a classic lemon drizzle but pimped up by using whole lemons blitzed up and running them right through there to create a lovely moist lemony drizzle cake. 3 really good ways of doing it, but now there's nothing left for me to do but to give them each a try. God, I hate my job. It's not even a job, it's a hobby. You know, I get no money for this, but you know, doing stuff like this is a lot of fun, doing 3 ways of trying something. It's really interesting, and I am going to see how each one has turned out, hopefully lovely. So I think first of all I'm going to try the mug cake. This is the quickest one, and it is more like a sponge pudding more than anything else. But as a quick and simple way of getting a lemon drizzle type thing, it is pretty good. So I am diving in there. See, it's come out like a lemon sponge almost, and it's going to be super tasty. We've got some of the lemon curd down at the bottom. Let's give it a go. Oh yeah, it is so moist. I know people hate that word, but there's nothing else to describe it because you've got that spongy texture anyway, and then you pour that lemon drizzle over the top. It oozes through it, absorbs into the sponge, and then you get little crystals of sugar throughout it and that lemony flavour. It's really nice. That's a really good way of doing it. It's a little bit messy, but it's worth a bit of mess for how quick it is. It really is. That's a really nice way of getting a lemon drizzle in like 5 minutes. If you've got no time or like no F's to give, it's a really good way of doing it. That's really nice. Oh God, I literally just finished wrapping up the video and I went to just go and turn everything off on the camera. Only after the bloody mug cake did the camera stop recording. So I've cut in and eaten 2 bits of these other lemon cakes and it hasn't recorded. So now I have to go and do it again. So I have to eat more cake. It's kind of funny, but also really annoying because, I mean, yeah, I've done the bit. I've cut into the cakes. I've done like the unveiling moment, and now I have to do it again. It just feels anticlimactic. But I've cut into these 2 cakes, and they are really nice. Look, we've got the vegan one here, and that's turned out really, really well. That's absolutely lovely. You can see it's a lovely texture, and to be honest, I think if you gave that to me, it wouldn't be able to tell it was a vegan cake. I mean, I'm going to taste it again. I've already tasted it, but it is a super tasty cake. It is so nice. It's really light and delicate. It's lemony. You've got that lovely lemon drizzle on the top. It's just really, really nice. You can see it's a lovely texture in there. And then we've got the classic lemon drizzle, which is made with whole lemons rather than just using the zest and the juice. And that's turned out really well as well. It's a bit more moist, a lot moister than the other one, but it's got so much lemon flavour in it. It really has. It has got bags and bags of lemon flavour in it. Going to give it another try. It's just got such lemony flavour to it. It's sharper than the other 2 cakes because it has got those whole lemons in it. But if you want your lemon flavour to punch you in the face, then that's the one to try. You've got the lemon drizzle on the top as well. You've got that crispness, and it's so moist in the middle because you get the lemon drizzle soaking through, and then you've got those whole lemons soaked through it. It's really tasty, and it's just taking a lemon drizzle cake up a notch. So that's our 3 ways of making a lemon drizzle cake. I'm really disappointed that that footage cut out of me cutting into those, because that's always the unveiling bit. That's like that's the glory moment of you seeing that it's actually worked. But hopefully you can see. In fact, I'm going to zoom in so you can see how they look, because we didn't get that unveiling moment because my camera decided to shut off. But you can see that vegan one looks absolutely wonderful, and that one is a lot moister, but it's got wonderful flavour running through it. It's so tasty. And the mug cake over there is super good as well. It's really, really tasty and a super great way of just doing a nice quick lemon drizzle cake if that's what you fancy. So there we go, that was a bit of an anticlimactic ending to a really busy video. But it happens, we get these technical problems, we work through them, or rather I work through them and you laugh at me. Never mind. But that is the 3 ways of doing lemon drizzle cake, 3 really great ways of doing it. If you are hankering for a lemon drizzle cake and you want something nice and quick, then I highly recommend the mug cake. It's a bit messy, but for how quick it is, it's worth it. Then if you're vegan or thinking about going vegan or just experimenting with veganism and you don't want to give up lemon drizzle, then I highly recommend the vegan lemon drizzle cake. It is super tasty, and to be honest, I think you would be hard pressed to tell it was vegan. And if you love your classic lemon drizzle cake and you want to try and kick it up a notch, then I highly recommend doing the version with the whole lemons through it, because it really gives that extra like sharpness to it, and you get that super lemony flavour. But 3 great ways of doing lemon drizzle. It's up to you what you want to do. Try one, try all 3, try none of them, that's up to you. But it gives you some more options on how to do a lemon drizzle. But that's it from me. I'm going to go off and rest because it's been a super long video, longer because of the technical difficulties. But it's really hot and really sweaty in here. It's far too hot to be baking 3 different types of cake, but that's what I do. I enjoy it, and hopefully you enjoy it as well. I really hope you found the video enjoyable. I hope you found it useful. I hope you take something from it. Let me know if you give one a try. Let me know if you give all 3 a try. It's really up to you, but I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, like the video. If you're enjoying what I'm doing, subscribe to the channel. But otherwise, I will see you next time on Big Friendly Grub. Take care. Bye. That's right, 2020 has been a proper lemon party so far, so we're going to have to try and do something with these bad. That's right, 2020 has been a proper lemon party so far, so we're going to need to do something with these bad boys to make it a little bit